All right, thanks, Greg. Well, a lot of work going on in the U.S. House of Representatives, a lot of bills being passed. Congressman Tim Griffin stops by our studio to bring us up to date. Bring us up to date on what's going down and how these bills will affect us here in our great state of Arkansas. We talked about the ruling on the NLRB.
That's right.
Well, we know that Obama has, used his executive order on immigration. He says he can't wait any longer for anything to get done. And the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, is saying, I'm going to sue you. Well, and it's not just that particular executive order, but this is all orders.
I think what's happened here is the Speaker is going to pass a bill or authorization through the House that basically says not just immigration, but on any issue where we collectively believe that the president has overstepped his authority, then we will be able to challenge it the way it was just challenged by the Senate on the NLRB, National Labor Relations Board appointments. The Supreme Court rejected the president's appointments 9-0 and basically said, hey, you can't do that. That's one of the tools in our toolbox to basically throw a flag when we believe that the president has exceeded his authority. We don't have many ways, but that's one way to challenge it.
Well, I was researching this morning and saw where Obama came out and said, well, sue me. I can't wait around to get an answer. So he's challenged and threw it back in their face and said, sue me. So what do you think this will bring about? Is this just a lot of ruckus? Where does the common...
Look, I think, all presidents use the authority that they've been given, and there's certainly sometimes disagreements on where that line is. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, in my view, a consistent and continual ignoring of certain parts of the law and the Constitution. Unfortunately for the president, the Constitution doesn't allow for the argument of, well, I'm just tired that you're not doing what I want, so I'm going to do it.
An executive order.
That sounds good, and that's a nice soundbite, but that's not how the Constitution is laid out. But look, I think the biggest thing the president could do is learn from what President Clinton did in his term, which was after he suffered defeats and lost the Congress, he came back and said, well, I'm going to move toward Congress and try to work some things out.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off. We've got 30 seconds.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Well, let's talk about a bill that was passed last week to lower gas prices, expand energy exploration, and increase natural gas exports.
Yes.
These were several bills. Right now, we know that we're going into the July 4th weekend. Gas prices are double what they were in 2008.
It's in the paper today.
It's in the paper
highest,
today.
Yeah.
Because of the tensions in Iraq. You have passed two bills to help this.
Sure.
What have you laid out?
Clearly, there are other factors like Iraq, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have resources that we're not exploring for. A lot of people may not know this, but 87% of our offshore drilling areas are off limits. 87% now. And since the president has come into office, federal land exploration for oil and gas is lower. And so we have got to, certainly the Iraq thing is a separate issue, but we have got to explore where there are opportunities, and the technology that we have allows us to do it safely.
I don't mean to cut you off. You say that this
I
is
would
going
love to come back.
Okay, 250,000 jobs. This is going to be short-term and long-term fixes. The third thing the bill was to
Keystone Pipeline, let's get it going. That was part of the legislation.
The other third thing, real quick, is that you passed a bill to make it more affordable for children to be able to go to college. The child tax.
That's right. There are tax credits. There were 4. We simplified, consolidated into one. And in the past, if you got a Pell Grant, that took away from the credit you could get. Now it does not.
It does not. So go to his website. He'll break all the bills down for you. We'll have you come back on.